Let's look at the Big Ten and what happened this weekend around the Big Ten. Ohio State led the way with a 14-7 win over top-ranked Texas. Overall conference with 16-2. And once again, the conference has 6 teams in the AP top 25. Ohio State and Penn State on the top of the rankings at 1 and 2. Oregon moved all the way to number 6. Illinois is at 11. Michigan's at 16. And Indiana slipped to 23 after a close win over a game Old Dominion team. Let's go to updated survey results now. After seeing the first week of games, who do you think will win the Big Ten Conference? Still, you have Ohio State running away with it at 62%, Penn State at 13%, and USC, who scored 73 points this week, at 12%. Nebraska's rest of their schedule, these next 2 games. Get in there, get as few injuries as possible, and get ready to beat Michigan.
Yes, yeah, that's the good. You still got to take care of the focus on task. You can't go in there. You can't get too far ahead of yourself. Yep. I've been a part of these games. I remember going to USC my senior year. We had to play Nicholls State the game before. I just like
the option.
I just want to yes. It was a brutal week of practice. I mean, it was like the triple option wishbone.
Right.
And I remember after the second day of practice, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I've been through training camp again, just because of how we had to play on the offensive line to make sure they couldn't get up to the linebackers. But you still have to take care of business, right? And you have to focus on Akron. Then you have to go focus on Houston Christian. It doesn't take much to get slip up, and all of a sudden you get in a scare. And you don't. Nebraska does not need that right now.
Yep.
I think there's some maturity on this team. Nebraska still is a young football team right now, but I think Coach Rule and the staff will keep them focused on the task at hand. Get in there. You get a good 2.5 quarters of work for your starters, and you're gone. All right, go off, take a knee, unloosen those pads, and let your backups go in there and get some work in, and get some more depth developed. But it's really easy right now for this team to look forward to. But Michigan is September 20th.
Yeah, they have to get some work in against Akron because they probably won't get much work in against Houston Christian.
Yeah, Houston Christian, obviously an FCS team. I've been to their facilities a couple years ago. It's like you're at like Nebraska Wesleyan. It's a smaller.
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally there's only one side of grandstand to kind of put them in perspective. The other side, a Walgreens sits behind the sideline. I mean, like you could have like VIP seats on the roof of the Walgreens there. So yeah, you're playing a lower level team.
Yeah. They did put up some big numbers this past week. I will tell you, they have a quarterback that is a good dual threat quarterback, just in case they're looking.
And Jason Bothel's a good coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a respected high school former Texas. I mean, he's a guy to watch down the road.
Did they win 69-0?
It was 69 something.
Yeah,
I don't know if the other team scored or not, but they played well.
I was like, oh, okay. Got to give them a little bit of credit.
Yeah, a little bit of credit. This week, of course, the Fighting Zips, who scored Zip last week, come to Memorial Stadium. What do you guys think about them? Obviously, I like Joe Moorhead. I think the guy is a good offensive coordinator. I don't know what kind of head coach he is.
Again, I don't have from watching a little bit of the Wyoming game.
Yep.
I mean, they had opportunities to score, had some turnovers deep in the red zone. Listen, this is a team that Nebraska should handle comfortably. The line shows it. It's opened up at 35. We'll see how it finishes at the end of the week. It could be more, it could be less, who knows. This is a game for Nebraska to come off of. I guarantee you the staff is working with the players right now and cleaning this stuff up, because there's a lot of glaring things that need to get cleaned up. And I feel confident they will, but it's a good time to get some confidence going, implement different wrinkles if they want, but really just go in and know what you want to do. And go in and say, hey, we're calling the same plays that we called against Cincinnati potentially, and we're going to get these right. I want to see you guys execute them the right way on the field when it matters, not in practice. I want to see you do it the right way on the field, and then let's get a work in. And let's get the other guys some reps. But again, you got to go in there. Those first 30 minutes are going to be very, very important.
Tough for Akron. They can't go to the conference championship game. They can't go to a bowl game because they're on APR punishment. Tough season for them.
Yeah, it's one of the only teams, I think, in history that's been on an APR bowl ban. It's hard to do. You have to have 2 years of your academic levels not being where they need to be, and the punishment is what you said, no bowl eligibility or chance at a conference title. So for them, this is like a bowl game. I mean, this is about as good as it's going to get for Akron, coming to Lincoln, coming to Memorial Stadium. But yeah, tough position for their program, because you just don't see that happening anymore in college athletics, where academics are going to prevent a team from going to a bowl game.
Yep, and I told you guys, 6 of the last 7 games they played against Power 4 teams, they've been outscored 301-39.
Stats
Not
crazy.
been pretty at all. They made a lot of money on those games, but they
how have they spent it?
How have they spent it, exactly. Well, not academic tutors. Let's get to top plays now. Number 3 on our list is a huge one. Vincent Shavers, end of the first half with a huge hit, right on the ball.
Perfect. Exactly perfect, right? That's textbook stuff. I mean, to me, this would be number 1 for me.
I'm with you as well. Williams Nwaneri with the recovery. Could have been a bunch of other people as well. And Isaiah Hunter, TV catch on the end zone. This is the replay of number 3. Number 2, Isaiah Hunter with the catch in the end zone. Had to catch it twice and get the toe down. This was a hard review.
It was.
It was a really hard review.
That left toe or that right toe was just in with that right knee. I mean, it was a split second. But man, thank God for
And
the
he
slow
kept
motion.
possession of the ball, too.
That's incredible body control. And he landed a nice dance after that. And then the last one, Malcolm Hartzog's interception to put the game away.
Yeah, okay. Maybe this is deserve number 1. But I just that time getting points before half there. But yeah, this was big. I mean, like I said, we broke this play down. Great execution by the secondary. Hartzog, giving up the 4th down play. Then a couple plays later, the penalty was a great way to finish that game.
All right, let's go to some of the questions that we have in here. Oh, do you think Emmitt Smith, this goes to you, Sean, you think Emmitt Smith can get to 1,000, Emmett Johnson can get to 1,000 yards
They
rushing?
added Emmitt Smith. That's a hell of an
Emmitt
addition.
Smith's like 55. He's not getting to 1,000 yards. What do you think about Emmett Johnson?
I want to see him against other Power 4 teams. I want to see how he sustains, because there was a time where I thought Anthony Grant was going to be a good 1,000-yard back.
Sure.
And the wear and tear of this conference wore him down. You go back to that stretch against Rutgers in Indiana where he went like back-to-back 55, 60-ish snap games, and he wasn't the same the rest of the year. So let's see how Emmett responds. But, yeah, these 2 games are going to be big in, like, the scheme of his final output because you would like to steal some cheap stats.
Definitely.
And where he can come out of these games with maybe a 250, but will they let him? I mean, that's the question. I think Matt Rule is going to want to play other guys.
Yeah. Brad Johnson on Facebook, not the quarterback, says, after seeing the first game, did you change your prediction for Nebraska's record?
No, I've been pretty sturdy on 8-4 all year. I think the losses are Michigan, Minnesota, Penn State, USC. That's just what I felt with all year. I haven't seen enough, so I still feel comfortable on that. And Nebraska there'll be things that they'll get cleaned up that could change. I mean, I tell you what, that Maryland game looks a little more difficult, I think, to me, but I still feel rather comfortable on 8-4, and I'm not ready to come off that after one game. No drastic overreaction by me here.
Vicky on Facebook, I think we'll see more of Harburg now that Bonner went down.
Oh,
he played a lot more in the second half than he did.
Yeah, I think Harburg did a lot of blocking. I mean, he was in there doing a lot of
blocking.
blocking.
He was good, too.
And he was graded out well in PFF with his blocking grade. But yeah, I think his role and Carter Nelson, they're both going to keep growing. But it's clear Luke Lindenmeyer is the guy there. I mean, Luke Lindenmeyer is going to be involved in about everything they do at tight end. The question is, what can you develop for Heinrich that makes sense? Can you get him the ball? I mean, I'd like to see him, do different things with the ball. We know how explosive he is.
And Martin asked, and we know the answer to this question now, why no Nebraska band in Kansas City? Was it a budget or a schedule issue? They would have had to pay for the seats, the tickets, and also to get down there, and also Cincinnati's band was there.
Now, my understanding is they got it worked out where they weren't going to have to pay for it.
Oh, really? Gannon told me they had to.
But they were going to get it worked out in the end.
Okay.
But it was kind of too late. I mean,
okay.
A lot of moving parts. But yeah, it was disappointing.
I don't know where they would have sat. There were not a lot of open seats.
When you have 74,000 in that setting, the Nebraska band would have been the cherry on top. Just to have that additional atmosphere they would have brought to the stadium.
Yeah, that'd have been really cool. And Cincinnati's band did a good job. I mean, they represented. We talked about this earlier. How much would you like to see an annual game in Kansas City at Arrowhead?
I mean,
Ozark Custer.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. I think if you set up, I'd love to bring it just an old Big 8 matchup.
That'd be great.
That'd be fantastic. I mean, every school is so locally, so close to Kansas City. I mean, whether it's Kansas, Kansas State, Iowa State, Missouri, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, it just seems like
it'd be easy.
It'd be so easy to bring a Big 8 Classic every year. It opens up Labor Day weekend. I mean, everybody in college football would sign up for that, I would think. It's just working out the
budget,
the budget, but it's also just with now how important the playoff is going forward. These teams scheduling these major conference games early on. Some teams aren't going to want to do that. Some programs don't want to play a Power 4 conference.
And maybe now it'll
change
change though because of what they're doing with the new factoring system. Jim in Minnesota, famous Twitter user. You think we'll see more of Donovan Jones after what you saw against Cincinnati?
I think they're finding ways to just get him on the field. As you heard John Butler say on Tuesday, he's too good not to have out there. So when we have Sierre and Andrew Marshall at the two corners, we're going to get him out there in different roles.
Right.
And he impacted the game. There's no doubt. And I think the Pinstripe Bowl, you started to see right away, like, wow, he's pretty good. Because before the Pinstripe Bowl, you didn't really obviously see him. And now the growth he's made, I think, is really encouraging. Rex Guthrie, another guy that got some high-quality snaps in that game on Thursday night.
Donovan Jones in that Saturday night practice was everywhere. And I thought that
He
really
was
showed
really
him.
good against the run. He had some good plays, some PBUs, but he was really good on some of those jet sweep outside motion plays by Cincinnati coming up and making a play. He played his butt.
Well, he's disciplined. That's Omaha
Yeah.
North kid. Coach knows that he's just disciplined. Last one. Do you think that there's been too much hate online about Dylan? Caleb says on Twitter he's seeing a lot of it. Is there something wrong? Why do people not like him?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the Mahomes thing or what.
I think it's the Mahomes thing. And it's not his fault. I mean, he looks a little bit like
He does. He
Mahomes.
wears
and
15.
He had the haircut first.
He draws a lot of attention. I mean, when he walks into a room, he kind of commands the room. But completed his last 11 consecutive passes to close the game. He was 33 of 42.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to be critical of the game he put together on Thursday night.
Like Coach said, he only really had 2 or 3 top plays that he'd want back. That was it. Probably to throw over to Emmett, getting sacked, not covering up the ball, and I mean, probably one other throw. That's about it.
Fourth down play.
Fourth down play, yeah, exactly.
Think he wide open on. But yeah, I mean, listen, he's going to be good, and good players get the hate.
They get the hate.
They get the hate. So
Exactly.
he's got to deal with it.
Burning question, Sean.
A burning question: can Nebraska find the big play? Can guys make people miss and create bigger plays to kind of ignite this offense?
Yeah, backup running back situation. This is these next 2 weeks are going to be fantastic for this offense to figure out who that guy is going to be. Emmett Johnson cannot carry the load. There's going to be Mosey, Quentin Ives, Mekhi Nelson. It's a great opportunity for them guys to get a ton of reps.
I'm like a broken record. Finishing drive rate. Nebraska had 6 of 9 successful drives, but only scored 20 points. When they get across the 40-yard line, they've got to get points. When they get inside the 20, they've got to get touchdowns.